1929 to 47, as violence erupted between the two communities, Jews and Palestinians divided, and people had to take sides. Early Jewish inhabitants in Palestine, and Mizrahi, Oriental, or Eastern, Jews who came to Palestine from Arab countries and who spoke Arabic, were now confronted by politically mobilized European Jews arriving to settle the land and build a Jewish state. Many of these longtime Jewish occupants of Palestine and the Middle East cut their ties to their Arab neighbors. An outbreak of extreme violence in 1929 dashed any faint hopes of Jews and Palestinians combining, and revisionist right-wing Zionist organizations grew. Palestinians and Jews prepared for a full-scale conflict. Militant Muslim preachers such as Sheikh Is al-Din al-Qassam mobilized Palestinians, priming them for jihad. The Jewish population prepared much more thoroughly, building a proto-state alongside nascent political and economic structures, having already established a defense organization, Haganah. The Jewish community pushed into new land with numerous settlements, and set up a Jewish presence across Palestine. By this point, the Palestinians were in conflict with both the Jews and the British authorities in Palestine, reaching a crescendo in a mass revolt in 1936. The British Army crushed the revolt by 1939, but resistance and preparation for further attacks by both communities remained the pattern for the rest of the 1930s and throughout the Second World War. By the time of the Second World War, the British had shifted their policy from support for Zionism to blocking Jewish immigration to Palestine. They did this, again, to bolster support for their war effort, this time from Arab allies. In the face of Jewish people escaping the unfolding Holocaust in Europe, this caused growing resentment and conflict with Zionists who were trying to save European Jews by helping them get to Palestine. The birth of modern Israel, 1948-49, the First Arab-Israeli War of 1948-49 followed on from the violence between Jews and Palestinians as neighboring Arab states, for their own political motives as well as to help their Palestinian Arab brethren, intervened in the hostilities. In May 1948, as British troops left Palestine, Zionist leader, soon to become the first Israeli Prime Minister, David Ben-Gurion declared the formation of the State of Israel, at which point Egypt, Iraq, Transjordan, Lebanon and Syria attacked Israel in support of the Palestinians. Israel was born from war. Both the legacy of the Holocaust and more immediate conflict and the Arab armies attacked in May 1948. Fighting against the new Israeli army continued until early 1949. Local Palestinian militia units supported the war effort, but were poorly organized and had little military power. In general, though the Arab forces looked impressive on paper, the military quality of their fighting power and the political unity of their command across different national forces were poor and, as a result, they lost. Israel's success allowed it to expand its territory to include all of British-run Palestine, with the exception of the hilly West Bank next to Jordan, East Jerusalem, including the Old City, and the territory known as the Gaza Strip, running along the Mediterranean Sea just northeast of the Sinai Peninsula. The result of this expansion was that Israel controlled more than 75% of what had formerly been British-run Palestine, or, in other words, the Palestinians now held less than 25% of Palestine. What happened next has informed a great deal of how we now understand the Arab-Israeli conflict. For the Palestinians, this was the Nakba catastrophe that turned hundreds of thousands of them into refugees. For Israel, it was triumph in a war of independence in the face of a full-scale assault against its Jewish people.